team, one of the powerhouses from the Barclays Premier League, and now we have one of the powerhouses from Italian Serie A. 17 times they've been the champions of the Serie A, and you know, when you look at the colors, I mean, I'm looking down at some of the jerseys that you see down there. Too many to name, but one of my favorites, the former Dutch international Marco van Basten. You see his jersey down there. Just, I mean, a great afternoon, and you mentioned when we came into this segment how beautiful the day is. We wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, these Italians coming into town, and this Italian team, they get a sense of what it's like to live here in Southern California.
Aleko Eskandarian, the newest addition to the Galaxy roster, and he's already tightened the nets twice. He was traded, but all he had to do was move locker rooms. He was playing with Chivas, and listen to the cheer go up just off the kickoff. Galaxy in their home whites, and of course the Rossoneri in the red and black. We saw Donovan Ricketts is between the sticks for the Galaxy. He has been very good of late. He was really good in New York. He stopped a penalty kick. Led away. Here comes AC Milan on the attack. Chipped inside and headed away. Greg Berhalter anchoring that defensive back line for the Galaxy.
You know, the good thing here for LA is the majority of their lineup has European flavor in terms of experience. Donovan, Beckham, Berhalter, Eddie Lewis. So these are players that are going to be able to, you know, not be overwhelmed by the situation here. And we'll see how the Galaxy settles in the first 15 minutes. I think I mentioned it in the pregame show. LA has a tendency to play very well and play up to the level of the opponent in these types of friendlies.
Edson Buttle runs up the back of David Di Gennaro. Gets the first whistle of the match. You can see the confetti streaming on. Crowd still filing in. There are no seats. There is no standing room. This game sold out quickly. Galaxy have a couple of good friendlies. They'll also be playing Barcelona at the Rose Bowl on August 1st. We'll talk more about that as the day wears on. Donovan Ricketts, who also played in the Confederations Cup. Jamaica did not move on, but he played very well, and he is great. You were there Thursday night in New York, and he really saved that game in the closing minutes.
Well, it could have been two. He did save it in the closing minutes, but even more importantly, the two saves that he made in the end of the first half, denying Rojas, and I think the other chance was maybe Juan Pablo Angel, if I'm not mistaken, but two big saves in a row right there in the latter stages. And I talked to Bruce Arena. I was actually working the sideline for that game, and he told me very easily this game could have been 2-1, 3-1 instead of going in with that 3-0 lead.
Already you can tell that there is a bit of an edge to this game. Sometimes with friendlies, guys playing about 75%, but already the Rossoneri, AC Milan has started most of their big-name players. The crowd is into it, and every time Beckham goes near the ball, or in this case, goes to take a corner kick, they're going to let him hear it. Beckham, his first corner in 5.5 months, and it's pulled out of the air by Kalic.
He is a big force back there inside the area, so if the Galaxy is going to send any crosses into the area, a keeper like Kalic, you have to keep it around the penalty spot and really drive the ball in, no air underneath it to force him to stay home.
Kalic goes 6 feet, 8 inches, 210 pounds. He is 36 years of age, and although he is Croatian by descent, he is actually an Australian. One of the things a lot of Galaxy fans will be watching for is the play in the middle third. Teams from Europe tend to handle the ball very well. They share it, the spacing, keep the ball on the ground, play to the feet of one another. It's something that separates leagues like MLS from the Serie A, from the Bundesliga, from the EPL, from the Spanish League. But that gap is closing, Rogo, and I'm not going to say that MLS teams can compete, but they do belong on the same pitch now.
Yeah, you would be naive to say that you know, MLS teams are on that par. I think what you said is hitting the nail on the head. The gap is closing because you can see players. Case in point, Oguchi Onyewu, a U.S. international, a player that came up here in Clemson in the college ranks, but now he's going to have an opportunity to play with AC Milan.
Ronaldinho with a heel flick, and that's the thing that looks shocking to me when you look down on the pitch here. And we've called so many league games here. We've called a couple of different friendlies here. And you look out, and there's Ronaldinho on the pitch.
Yes, unbelievable player.
In Southern California, you've watched him play all over the world. And if you go on YouTube, he's so good with the soccer ball at his feet, they've actually put together a 6.5-minute video of Ronaldinho and just put it to music. And it is a beautiful thing to behold.
We'll see some of that magic too, because he likes to be a little bit of a showman, especially in this type of situation.
Absolutely. We already saw that heel flick quickly ahead. Eddie Lewis, they wanted to get Eskandarian on a fly. There's Buttle contesting for that ball. Eddie Lewis also scored in New York. The goals for the Galaxy in New York, Eskandarian early in the game from just outside the area, a blast with the left. Donovan backed it up a couple of minutes later, and then Eddie Lewis with the third goal. Galaxy have won 4 league games in a row. This, of course, just a friendly. We already talked about how good Ricketts was. I thought that was one of the better games the Galaxy played all year. In fact, I saw you interview Donovan on the field afterwards. You were working that game for Fox Soccer Channel, and Donovan agreed with you. He thought that was a great effort.
They did back off the gas pedal a little bit in the second half, but the opening 45 minutes, and that was another question I asked to Bruce Arena at the halftime break, because I said, you know, as we take a look at the offside here on the ball over the top, trying to spring Borriello into the space. To follow up your question, that was the best 45 minutes that I've seen LA play so far here in this campaign. And it was also due in part to the lineup they had on the field.
They looked very sharp. There was a sense of urgency, just like this rush. Eddie Lewis, the cross into the area, it's easily cleared out. Milan, De La Garza. AJ De La Garza, who's getting a lot more time now. He assisted on Buttle's game-winning goal against Chivas a couple of weeks back. Almost from that same spot.
Remember, AC Milan is, you know, in the midst of their preseason campaign here, but I think you would be naive to think that if they don't want to come here and put on a good show, think of what the Italian papers would have to say if they don't have a decent result here, regardless of preseason, mid-season, or postseason.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because you have to understand, you're talking about one of the great clubs on earth. AC Milan, they have a proud, rich history, and everybody wearing their colors is a millionaire. There's a lot of ego involved here as well. Here's Eddie Lewis at the top, he's alone! Eddie Lewis with the right, and he chucked the shot wide. That is a tough break.
And there was the parting of the red and black seas. Look at David Beckham. This is what he's gonna bring back to the table for Los Angeles. Maybe 60-yard ball over the top right there. Lewis, diagonal run to pick it off. Odo slips in the area there. Actually, it's not even Odo who slips in the area. It might be even Thiago Silva is the player that slips, the Brazilian, creating that chance. But the right foot, we know that Eddie Lewis prefers the left. Didn't quite get good wood on it.
And talking about egos, Beckham, of course, you know, he doesn't want to hear those boos as well. After that pass, they've stopped. He just touched the ball. Nobody said a thing. Didn't take him long, did it?
Well, one way to combat those boos is just keep it to one touch, right?
Well, look, we've seen this before in this city. Kobe Bryant, during his trial in Colorado, had to come back and play every night. The crowds welcome him back. I was at Dodger Stadium the other night. Manny hit the top step for the first time in 50 games, and Manny went crazy in left field. They never booed him. Trying to play it forward to Buttle. You can see the effect Eskandarian has had us on this offense for the Galaxy, which is much better. Early on this year, the Galaxy, a defensive club. That was a problem last year. They improved that. Now, midway through, they've added to the offense. And bit by bit, Bruce Arena continues to put the pieces in place, and the Galaxy, as good as we've seen them in 3 years.
Absolutely. I think this is the best since David has been here, the surrounding pieces around him.
Beckham again looking for the bomb. It's Buttle at the other end, but well defensed. Eskandarian to Milan at the top, 30 yards out. It's deflected. Here's Landon Donovan.
I like that from Milan. Just go ahead and pull the trigger from distance. He's a player that can produce a nice bit of electricity from that distance. Plus, that'll open up things for later on in the match. Players will know they have to close him down and not create space for other players to work into.
Buttle outside to Lewis. Lewis with a nice fake. Now, they don't see Eddie Lewis a lot in Major League Soccer. They know he's going to drag that ball to his left foot, but maybe Milan doesn't have a deep hook on the Galaxy.
And Eddie Lewis, watch this here. This is something I think we'll see more of him here in the second half of the season. He's gaining confidence over the last month or so.
He got Odo to turn his back. Not often to see that. Now Beckham goes to the corner, and the boos have turned to cheers. It took 9 minutes.
I think it depends on which side of the field he's on right now.
All the way outside, Lewis volleys it back to Beckham. The cross. That was on a rope, but into a lot of traffic. And here he is, Ronaldinho. Space. Quickly played it to the feet of Seedorf. Back to Ronaldinho. Wants to go far side. On the run is Di Gennaro, and he never got there. So he is getting booed at that end. David Beckham is, but at the opposite end, when he took that last corner, they stood and cheered.
Yeah, it seems to be the LA Riot Squad in that corner over there. What's that, the southeast corner over there. They're the ones that I think they're really putting on a statement, if you will.
Well, when we sat down with Beckham earlier in the week, and I asked him, I said, if you were sitting in the stands, would you boo a player that has done what you did? And he said, I can understand why people would, but I don't want to stay negative. He said, I don't like to talk about things that are negative. I want to stay positive. And Beckham is a very polished interview subject. And it's difficult to get him to say anything that he doesn't want to say. We asked him the questions. He answered the way we expected.
Yep.
Of course, we touched on the criticism that was levied at him by Landon Donovan. They both say it's behind them. The lockers are near each other. Ball goes up and over the crossbar. Ronaldinho's second season with Milan. 8 goals, 5 assists last year. The Italian papers called it an indifferent season. They expected more from him.
Watch this.
And to him, that's really nothing. That's warm-ups for him.
Oh, yeah.
He can do a lot more than that.
Well, I think the amazing thing about the Brazilian international is, and look, he's talking there with AJ de la Garza, is when he's at full speed, he can still do little tricks like that.
How about de la Garza? What, 18 months ago, he's playing for the University of Maryland, and now he's guarding Ronaldinho. Boy, the world is a small place nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, but, you know, also on the other side of that coin, some of these players like de la Garza, I think they're learning the ability in this season to flip the switch.
Ronaldinho again, playing it forward. Borriello, move it back, now watch Milan set up. The spacing, the cutters, into the area. Ronaldinho playing with it. Up and over the crossbar. Headed back, almost an own goal. Berhalter. And he turns around and slaps hands with Ricketts and says, thank you. Now you can smile when it's a friendly.
Yeah, I think right here he is trying to push it out over the bar and just go ahead and concede the corner. But the ball, he doesn't quite get underneath it enough to put it over the bar. Unfortunately, the quick hands of Donovan Ricketts is able to parry it right over the top of the crossbar. So it'll be the first corner of the match here for AC Milan.
Ronaldinho trying to find Borriello. Headed away again by Berhalter. Well played. Seedorf. Working against Beckham. You know, when I asked Beckham, I said, are you looking forward to standing opposed to your old teammates and your new friends? And he said, absolutely. You know, in practice, he says, we have some great matches over there with all this talent on the same field.
Sure.
Again, the Galaxy trying to play point to point. The field starting to tilt now in the favor of AC Milan. Flamini plays it ahead. Ronaldinho against De La Garza. Skips into the arms. Donovan Ricketts. Ricketts, whose goals against average now in MLS play, and even one. He held New York to 1 on Thursday. Here's the magician again. Oh, the slalom weave. You know, when I watched his stuff on YouTube, it's not so much what he does with the ball, it's what he does around the ball.
Around the ball and even off the ball, because you can see he finds a way to get his own space, and then once you deliver the ball to him, 2 or 3 defenders have to come over to try and shut him down. That makes other players available inside the area. I think we're seeing it so far right now with Borriello.
He does those fakes, he'll step across, he leans with his body, he always has the defender retreating. And that is how he creates that space.
A long time ago, a coach told me, he said, you use the magic in order to create a little window, either for a shot or an opportunity to get a pass off. And that's exactly, I think, what you see him do. He likes to do it with a little bit of flair when it's not needed sometimes. But that little bit of magic right there, you saw it. Double step over, then he weaves in a little bent ball into the space. You
will see him all the way over near a touchline with 2 defenders, juggling the ball and keeping it off the ground for a few seconds, 4 and 5 times, instead of settling the ball and playing it forward. Donovan with the left, going far side. De La Garza hustling to try and track it down, but it rolls over the touchline, and out to be a throw-in for AC Milan. Messi, Henry, Marquez, the UEFA Champions League champions, FC Barcelona, coming to Southern California, take on your LA Galaxy, presented by Herbalife on Saturday, August 1st, 8 o'clock at the Rose Bowl. Tickets on sale now for as low as $25. It can be yours just by calling 1-877-3-GALAXY or by visiting LAGalaxy.com.
I'll have to confirm with Tom Payne on that one, but I think the number is already up above 50,000.
Funny you say that. When I came into the park today and it was empty 3 hours before kickoff, Tom Payne was the first guy I ran into. I asked him that. He said we're north of 50,000 already, and they're expecting 60 plus.
60 plus, yep. Take a look there.
De Janeiro?
Yep. And now here's the dangerous set-piece opportunity. Seedorf will stand over it. De Janeiro hovering in the area, as well as Matthew Flamini, the former gunner out there at Arsenal. This is where LA, in terms of free kicks, might have a little bit of advantage. Certainly, tactically, AC Milan has the edge. But when it comes to height, you got players like Miliaranzi, Berhalter, Omar Gonzalez back there, players that are used to winning balls in the air, and regardless of what level you're on around the globe, that's a skill where it transmits across different leagues. If you're a good ball winner in the air, you're going to be able to do that at any level.
Silvio Petrescu, our referee, came all the way over to the sideline for just a minute to confirm with his assistant, and now we go to work. De Janeiro with the left, and it gets behind Ricketts and in. And AC Milan leads 1-0. Thiago Silva.
He says Brazilian defenders can't score goals. Coming up on this one, I think a little bit of a miscommunication here on this one. But exactly what I said a moment ago, tactically, AC Milan has the edge. This ball isn't high. It's not necessarily a ball that needs to be won.
Did Silva even touch it?
And that's Greg Berhalter losing his man on the mark right there. It's one of those in-between balls, so tough for goalkeepers, because is Donovan Ricketts going to come out and be able to punch that one clear? There's not really enough time because there's not enough air underneath the ball for him to come in and do that.
They're going to give Silva the goal in the 16th minute. If he touched it, he barely touched it. And you can see Ricketts was waiting for the deflection. He was reactionary. And the ball skipped behind him and tightens the nets. 1-0, Rossiniere.
Similar to a couple of years ago when Chelsea was here. The European club goes on the board first and forces LA maybe to really pick things up a little bit. And as much as we heard in the pregame show when Jackie talked to some of the veteran players and they said, you know, it's all about going out there and having some fun. It has nothing to do with the way we're going in the MLS standings. There is a certain pride factor that has to be involved here tonight as well.
Absolutely. The goal to Silva, the assist to De Janeiro, and it is 1-0. Miliaranzi in the center circle looking for help. Now they play it to the side. Donovan asks for help. Beckham chased, back to Berhalter, and they play the ball forward. You can see what AC Milan does. They take away the center third of the field and then pressure you in your own end. De La Garza with space. He has Donovan in front of him. They play it back to Beckham, who looks on the switch. Wanted Eddie Lewis, played it over the head of Buttle. Flamini, De Janeiro, and Seedorf. 3 quick touches in the midfield.
Seedorf, a player that's played for a ton of big clubs. Ajax, Sampdoria, he's a member of Real Madrid. I think he crossed paths with David Beckham for a short time there, and of course, even spent time against AC's biggest rival, Inter Milan.
They share the same stadium. Seedorf was 6 goals last year. Here's De Janeiro again, just had the assist. Can't keep that one in play. Throw in for the Galaxy. 19th minute. A sold-out Home Depot Center, FS West. Jim Watson, Mark Bernardino, and of course Jackie Pickering. We haven't heard or seen Jackie since she was up on the berm. Is she all right?
She's probably off enjoying the game already.
She's very popular. You and I could walk through the crowd, nobody would even stop us.
Good point.
De Janeiro's getting a lot of touches right now. The switch, that's Ronaldinho's side. Trying to trap it. Now Kowalski, and he couldn't control. And look at Donovan. You know, one thing about Landon Donovan the last couple of months, and I noticed this in the Confederations Cup, certainly saw it in New York, he just looks faster now.
And he has that motivation, but there's never been a question about Donovan's speed. And you could see on that sequence right there, he was determined to close the gap right there. Should be a free kick here, and it will be. So we'll get a first look really at David standing over a free kick and an opportunity for the Galaxy to show what they can do on a set piece.
World's best at this, the specialty of Beckham, and he left it a little bit short. But he knows what you talked about already from those corners and from those set pieces. Not a lot of air into the ball. He's got to hit its mark quickly.
Right.
There's Beckham again. And Beckham going long again to Eddie Lewis. No chance on the fly. Kalic. Yeah, I wondered how the Milan players were going to treat Beckham. Of course, they have to have a bit of empathy for what he's going through. And loyalty's got to play into it as well, because when it came down to it, Beckham made the statement that he wanted to stay in Milan rather than return on time to the Galaxy. And these players from Milan, they get criticized in Italy. You know, for folks in Southern California, Milan is like the Lakers. Anything they do, if you go online and look at the papers, there's 3 and 4 articles a day, even in the off season, about Inter and about Milan.
I was going to say, but it's not like Inter is like the Clippers.
Right.
You know, it's like having the Knicks and Lakers, or not the Knicks anymore, the way they've been going, but it's like having the Boston Celtics and the Lakers in the same town.
And Inter is probably just a little bit better right now, but we'll see who else they pick up this year.
Yeah, actually, Inter's been the better of the two sides over the past few years, and that has AC Milan fans a little bit rattled and fuming a little bit, wanting to see the Rossoneri get back up into things.
The big criticism, of course, is they sold Kaká, and they have not replaced him yet. Eddie Lewis from the top, and just misses wide. And that was a much better effort from much further out than his first look.
That's another component of Eddie Lewis's game that I think that we'll see in the second half of this season. His ability to hit a ball in the open space. A little trickery here as Donovan just plays the square ball across the ground. But you see he hits that one with topspin, so when it actually hits the turf, it picks up speed. Almost does get it past Kalic in the corner there.
You know, there is a seam in the Milan defense. We've seen it right at the top of the area and out about 10 yards, so about the 30-yard mark. We've seen a couple of shots. Miglioranzi had one from out there. Eddie Lewis just there. It must have been fun for Bruce Arena and Dave Saracen and Kobe Jones and the staff, Trevor James, to put this one together. Look at the strategy and watch Milan a little bit on tape. Ricketts all the way to the edge of the area. His toes right near the line. We've been looking for Jackie, and I think we found her. Jackie, you all right?
I am okay, guys. I made it down safely. And you know, you're saying that fans are screaming for me. I haven't seen anybody with tattoos of my faces on them yet. So I don't know. I think the fans are big fans of you, the two of you up there. But, you know, when I was walking down, it was right when David Beckham was doing a corner kick. And that side of the stadium, the far side of the stadium, was going absolutely crazy. Every camera was out. Everybody was taking pictures just to get a chance to see David Beckham on the field again with the LA Galaxy.
Now, in the meantime, Edson Buttle has left the pitch, and Alan Gordon is coming on. And Buttle didn't look 100% when he walked off. Roger, did you see what happened to him?
I didn't see anything immediately, but I agree with you. As he walked off gingerly right there. And Alan Gordon will come on just here in the 23rd minute of play. We're expecting a lot of substitutions from both sides in this one, but I don't think anyone was expecting it that early. Hopefully it's a little more precautionary, as Armando Rivas, the Galaxy trainer, quickly over to attend to Buttle.
Yeah, of course, the Galaxy are trying to keep an eye on their MLS schedule, which picks up again on Saturday on the road at Kansas City. The Galaxy have won 4 in a row, tied for 3rd now in the Western Conference. And what was it? We added it up. They've outscored their opponents 6-1.
6-1 over
6-1
yeah.
over those with a 4-game winning streak. Now you see Buttle, and it looks like maybe the inside of the foot.
That would be his right big toe, it looks like they're looking at right there. Maybe he got stepped on.
Right on the ball,
yeah.
The foot perhaps.
And Buttle's a player that's Galaxy fans do not want to see that, because Buttle is a player that has actually been coming into form over the last 2 weeks.
That's not good. You know, I'm not so much looking at his foot as I am his face.
Right.
Which is the reflection of the amount of pain that he's in right now.
Had the lone goal, which of course was the game winner against Chivas USA a couple of weeks ago.
And nominated for goal of the week in MLS. That was gorgeous.
Glancing header to beat the goalkeeper on the far post.
24th minute, it is 1-0 Milan. The goal, Thiago Silva off a set piece. Di Gennaro with the assist. Again, the long ball played out. Eskandarian for the Galaxy. The flag went up, offside.
And it was about 2 yards in behind when the ball was first hit, in behind the last defender for Milan.
What is it that Galaxy fans can expect from Eskandarian?
Hard-working guy, and despite his small size, he's actually a pretty good target. He's a target player up top. He has that low center of gravity. Unbelievable left foot. You saw it there against New York, how he hit the ball up, then did the pirouette, and finished it off with a great volley. But he also brings that soccer knowledge. Don't forget, his dad was a premier player in the NASL.
Long time ago. Here's Landon Donovan. A couple of dekes, lays it out wide for De La Garza. One touch. Right to the middle of the field. Picked off by Ambrosini. Massimo Ambrosini. They call him Ambro. He's the captain.
One thing I'd like to see from De La Garza right there. A little better decision making. Just because the ball's played into the space right there doesn't mean that you have to hit it inside the area. Keep possession, maybe look for a recycling of the runs inside the area. Sometimes, of course, it's on and you got to play it, but I think too often you see him come down that right side, gets a chance, and he'll just wing it in, hoping someone gets on the end of it.
Kind of a common characteristic of younger players. They're thinking already about their next move and not keeping their head up. There's Donovan in space. Donovan played so well in South Africa. I know he came home disappointed like the rest of the U.S. national team that they didn't play better in that final. They had that 2-0 lead over Brazil. Ended up losing, but what a great run. The win over Spain maybe changed the way that people not necessarily in this country, but outside this country look at U.S. soccer.
Absolutely, absolutely. Especially the just new shattering win that they stopped that winning streak. It was 16 games, 16 or 17 games, which was a tied record with that of Brazil. So how do you think Brazil felt that their record was not beaten by Spain?
Eddie Lewis. Long cross wants Alan Gordon. Gordon is a guy who brings a lot of size and grit onto the pitch right now, and I'm sure he was relishing the opportunity to go toe-to-toe with AC Milan. And we saw Buttle go off the pitch. Excuse me, Mark. Let's go down and check in with Jackie. What do you know?
Thanks, Waddy. Well, moments before Edson came off the field, he actually was tripped up right here in front of me at midfield, and he was taking a little while to put his cleat on, actually, and so that raised flags for me right away. And as you saw, he walked off gingerly. Apparently, he hyperextended his big toe on his right foot, so they have it iced up, and he'll be sitting out for the rest of the game, obviously.
All right, Jackie, thank you very much for that. Again, the Galaxy back in action on the road in MLS at Kansas City on Saturday night. So Buttle now a question mark. Being the game notes is questionable.
Going back to talking about Alan Gordon coming into the match and being excited with the possibility, as you see the handball whistled there against Yankolowski. For Gordon, remember, his actually calf injury in the warm-ups against New England a couple of weeks back opened the door for Aleko Eskandarian just days after he came over from the trade. Eskandarian then hit the winner in that match. But Gordon, I think, not only anxious to play against AC Milan, but also, you know, an opportunity for him to come in and get a good run out and show Bruce, hey, I can still contribute to this team. I'm going to be a vital component down the stretch for him.
Every time that Ronaldinho gets the ball on that far side and he looks up and he sees De La Garza, you know, you wonder how the kid's going to react to it. Bruce Arena said, you know, let's see. Put him out there on Ronaldinho and see how fast that this kid can mature. Both Omar Gonzalez and AJ De La Garza, who played college ball together at Maryland and won the NCAA title, have been making huge strides very quickly. And Omar Gonzalez has started every game and played every minute since he left college and came to MLS.
Both have been great.
Ronaldinho is pushed by Miglioranzi from behind. The whistle came in late. Berhalter and Ronaldinho exchange smiles and handshakes. You know, Ronaldinho, he made the comment when he was criticized by the Italian media in the offseason as he comes in with the high elbows right here on Berhalter. He said, look, Kaká's gone. I'm going to step up my game. I'm going to take the slack in that rope. And some of his teammates have been critical, not necessarily of him, but of the move. Ambrosini, the captain, right away criticized management and said that Ronaldinho cannot carry this club on his own and he needs help. They have to get somebody else to replace Kaká.
And then they have some good pieces in there to help, such as Ambrosini. You know, you bring in some of the other players like Gennaro Gattuso, who's a solid midfielder. Seedorf is great.
Remember, they lost their coach as well. Carlo Ancelotti has gone to Chelsea. Leonardo has taken over. Blasted right into the wall by Seedorf. Milan keeps it. Odo across. Galaxy flooding the zone. By the booze, you know who that is. David Beckham streaks to midfield. Now a good ball to Donovan. Donovan is onside. Landon Donovan plays it back, one-timer to equal the match. Beckham to Donovan to Gordon. 1-1.
Taking a page out of the Milan book. Fantastic, unselfish football. Fantastic, unselfish football. It starts all the way back in the Galaxy's defensive third. The cross comes into the area, headed away by Gonzalez. Now watch Beckham. One touch, two touch, head up. He knows that the diagonal run on the far side from Donovan is streaking all the way down. Well-weighted ball into the space, but even better, Donovan picks it first time for Gordon, and a wide open net for Gordon to finish into. Hey, don't think that that's still an easy finish here for Gordo. Keeps his composure, gets over the top of the ball, because you know that Kalic is sliding across as fast as he can to try and cover that open space. 1-1.
Landon Donovan, great field awareness. He knew that Gordon would be on that side, and once he saw Kalic come off his line, he knew all the space was behind the keeper, and Gordon, to his credit, a lot of guys would have tried to settle that ball and blast it. He just one-timed it and got it behind the keeper and in, and we're level at 1.
But you know, and I don't know if we saw it there in the replay, maybe we can go back and get a look at it when we get a stoppage, is Gordon made the initial run and actually drew two defenders. He made a diagonal run across, having Beckham lift his chin up and take a look, but instead Beckham took one more touch, waits for Donovan on the secondary run over the top, and then that creates the space for Gordon to continue his run on the back post.
Absolutely beautiful from the play of Omar Gonzalez heading that ball out, Beckham moving the ball all the way to midfield, and then teeing it up, delivering, as you called it, the well-weighted ball right to Donovan in space, in stride, and then he feeds Gordon, and Gordon converts. 30th minute, 1-1. Landon Donovan, coming off his best season last year, has just carried this into this season here, MLS, and of course with the U.S. national team. He looks fantastic. His athleticism has always been there. His judgment is so sharp right now. He's just making the right decisions all the time.
You know, the thing that I have heard around the country from soccer writers to fans of the game is if there was any doubters about Donovan, especially after that last World Cup campaign, he certainly put them all to rest after the Confederation Cup duty.
Ronaldinho right at the edge of the area and ran into De La Garza, who holds his ground and takes it away. And back they come the other way one more time. Eskandarian trying to fight for the ball. It's headed back. Kalic.
Nesta, the veteran back there.
Well, the Galaxy offense, pretty straightforward, isn't it?
Well, and the one thing, when you hear people come from outside the U.S. and talk about Major League Soccer, they talk about the athleticism and they talk about the physicality of the league. It's open end to end. The game really doesn't settle as much as it does maybe in South America or Europe. And so that's an adjustment for one of these teams, especially when they're in their preseason form.
Ronaldinho far side. He's bracketed nicely. You see Landon Donovan acting like the captain, coming back to help out the rookie De La Garza. Donovan, one of the few players on the Galaxy roster, not intimidated, not in awe of seeing AC Milan, plays against the world's best. Eskandarian has a man behind, didn't see him coming, and it was Odo who ran up the back of Eskandarian and dropped him. Draws the whistle. It's the 5th foul now on Milan. 5 fouls on the Galaxy as well.
I don't know, I think Eskandarian might have got away with one right there because he knows better than to just let off his sense of awareness and leave, you know, an opportunity for a player to come from behind to get that ball.
Nesta takes it away from Donovan. Seedorf now crossing midfield. Ronaldinho, he just skips. Look at his feet, sliding along, tries to slip a ball. Inside the cutter was Borriello. Ronaldinho at the edge of the area, the crowd, you could hear the audible difference once he had the ball with space, just about 20 yards to the right of Donovan Ricketts. Galaxy attackers now drop back to that middle third, try to win more possessions. Nearing the 35th minute. First half, 1-1, AC Milan and the Los Angeles Galaxy. Crowd settling in. Biggest crowd in Home Depot Center history. Not a seat to be had. They even sold standing room only tickets. Just rimming the bowl. You can look around. There are people hanging over the railing. Helicopters overhead. It's not a soccer game, Rogo. It's an event.
Yes, it is.
Landon Donovan. You know, I have to call out some of the LA media. I heard them saying there was absolutely no buzz with Beckham coming back, with Milan coming to town. People don't care. That's what I heard. Really?
Yeah, exactly. Take a look at the Home Depot Center right now. Just look at the berm. And then that's really the answer to your question.
Well, not to criticize my comrades in the media too much, but just because you don't notice doesn't mean it's not being noticed. Eddie Lewis, he's onside. Eddie Lewis wins possession again. Eskandarian chips one high.
Springing balls from David Beckham again. It's the diagonal ball all the way across. And what's happening is sometimes that far side outside back is falling asleep a little bit. And when he lulls to sleep, Beckham lifts his chin up. Culminates in the opportunity there for Aleko Eskandarian.
There's always a moment when Beckham has the ball at his feet, when that chin goes up and he scans the field and he makes that decision immediately, and the computer in his brain figures out the angle, the weight, the pace of the ball, and somehow it gets to his foot quickly. You've seen him put 5 or 6 passes, 50 yards downfield, right on the mark.
And to be fair, a couple of them haven't been perfectly
Sure.
weighted.
No,
but,
of course.
But, you know, if you just have 3 or 4 times when he does weight it perfect and creates that one-on-one opportunity, you'll take it.
Well, we've certainly been as critical of Beckham as any player on the roster. But he does possess skills that few on the planet do. Here's Eskandarian. Great throw in. Eskandarian with that left foot. Esta turns him back. Alan Gordon, who had the goal to bring us even at 1. Eddie Lewis. And not a good decision there. Just played it to the feet of Seedorf.
Milan was surrounded by a couple of Milan players. Not really enough space to really slip it in there to Stefani.
Odo down the right side. This is Di Gennaro. Had the assist. On the goal, Thiago Silva had the goal for AC Milan in the 16th minute. Ronaldinho. You know, there was another of the YouTube videos for Ronaldinho, those boots he's wearing, those gold boots. You have a guy walk out on the field, an empty stadium at San Siro, opens up a aluminum briefcase and takes them out like a weapon. He puts them on his feet, picks up a soccer ball and keeps it off the pitch, juggles it for 3.5 minutes, and then volleys it directly into the goal from the 18-yard.
I'm having visions of how long you were on your computer looking at Ronaldinho videos.
You know, that just doesn't sound right. It's called research.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Yours is more paper. I like videos. He's just fun to watch. I can appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And I was trying to sell a couple of my American football friends on the world's most beautiful game. They criticize for a minute or two, and then they watch the whole thing.
And they probably still called you for a ticket to this game, right?
They all did. I hope they're watching home. Beckham being chased just a little bit. And turns the ball over. Ronaldinho now slipping a ball nicely through. Borriello, he can score. Borriello was far post and misses off the hands of Ricketts, and it should be a corner, although the referee's assistant now, and he was pointing goal kick. I thought Ricketts touched it.
We'll get a look at it here on the replay. Well-timed run here for Borriello, and then Marco turns it in toward that corner. Not much angle. It would have been tough to beat Ricketts right there. Does he tap it? Tip it? We'll see right here. The ball didn't really change spin, but it looked clearly like his hand got down there as the ball was going by.
I thought fingertips. No matter. 39th minute. Whistle and the flag. Another set piece for the Galaxy. It'll be Beckham. About 45 yards out. This is where he is most dangerous. As he pushes Ronaldinho away with the underside of his boot, he said, back off. They're teammates, they're friends. And of course, they understand what it's like to be a target. Quickly played short to Donovan. Landon Donovan bluffs, draws defenders, plays it off the referee. Petrescu, of course, the referee part of the field, trying to get out of the way. The referee was in perfect position. That's where he's supposed to be. The crowd awarding the hustle point there for the Galaxy, regaining possession. Donovan, his shirt being tugged.
Great first touch from Donovan, though.
As soon as Donovan handles this ball, watch his shirt being tugged from behind. Watch how quickly he settles it right there with the left. And DiGennaro just holding on to the beaver tail. David Beckham again from near midfield. Has 6 white shirts in the area. Line drive. And handed out. Now on the counter, here comes Milan. Seedorf, Ronaldinho left side. And just a touch too hard.
Seedorf can spring a good one as well. Not a bad ball into space, 30-yard ball.
A reminder for you, the Galaxy will host their elite soccer camps this July and August at the Home Depot Center. These 4-day camps are dedicated to helping you become a better individual and team player. Bring in college coaches, former Galaxy and MLS players to help you with the technical and tactical decisions to get you to the next level. Visit LAGalaxy.com for more information. Crowd growing a bit restless here. Latter parts of the first half, and Landon Donovan was offside by 20 yards.
Just about a half, probably 1 second late on the ball there. Donovan, I think saw the space and got in there early. Nesta was the closest player, though. The center back wasn't close to Donovan, but he was the player that would have kept things onside.
Seedorf, nice fake, lost Miglioranzi for a second. Plays the ball forward. Odo is out on the wing. There he is, wearing the twin 4s on the back of his traveling red and black. The run was cut off, rolls over the end line, goal kick for Donovan Ricketts.
Yeah, I think the Milan players are enjoying themselves out there, but since they are in that preseason form, while the Galaxy is in close to mid-season form right now, I think that there's probably going to be some tired legs out there. Fortunately, probably unlimited substitutions for the friendly here tonight at the Home Depot Center. So
that is correct.
Players like Clarence Seedorf, who's 33 years old, don't have to worry about running the full 90 minutes in this one.
Yeah, we would expect some big changes for Milan in the second half. Beckham tried to win that possession. Quickly back comes AC Milan. Seedorf. Taken away. Gordon overran it. Got the ball back at his feet. Lucky to keep that possession. And now the whistle comes in as Massimo Ambrosini created the contact. Ambrosini comes over, and again, Beckham does have the luxury of knowing these guys personally, and he just shoved Ambrosini aside. He said, let's play. Gordon
was a little late to make the transition once Beckham gave him the ball back, because it was Donovan making the overlapping run.
Beckham into the area, the header goes wide.
Donovan on the end of that service there from David Beckham. The glancing header. That connection's only going to get better between most of the teammates and David Beckham. Driven into the corner of the area. Watch the glancing header here from Donovan, just trying to whip it into that far side corner.
You got to give Beckham some credit. He came to play tonight. He was trying to make things happen like this. Here's Gordon, but he's 1-on-4 against Milan. Landon Donovan playing a little bit underneath and waiting for those balls to come back. Redirect. The switches.
The good news is that Alan Gordon doesn't seem to be showing any effects from the calf injury that had him come out of the lineup against New England a couple of weeks back.
A reminder to stay with us at the half. Jackie Pickering down on the pitch. She's going to have a moment with AJ De La Garza, who's guarding Ronaldinho tonight, has done a pretty good job. And Alan Gordon, we've got the goal for the Galaxy. Lots more to come at the break. And of course, a whole second half of soccer. '45th minute now. There have been bursts of excitement in this first half. Well played. And now it's getting a little clunky in the final seconds.
I don't know if that was a foul there.
Yeah.
Donovan appeared to be right on the heels there of De Janeiro.
You know, for 15 minutes, Petrasco, our referee, didn't use the whistle too much. Now he's tightening things up a little bit. One final push perhaps here for AC Milan. Odo. There's Nesta. He has plenty of space in front of him. Let's play that ball for De Janeiro. Maybe it was the intended target. It was between players. They can add on 1 minute of stoppage. Beckham and Berhalter. Now they'll chip it back to Ricketts, and Ricketts had to go behind him. And that's going to be a corner kick for AC Milan, and that was a sloppy play.
I don't think Greg Berhalter was under enough pressure there where he doesn't have to play that ball. He could play it square into a central position or even try and feed it back to Omar Gonzalez. And what Ricketts was trying to do was not let it hop up off the turf. He was trying to come out and get to it early.
Misplayed ball by the Galaxy leads to a corner kick. AC Milan. And punching it away was Ricketts, the one-timer by Seedorf. The full volley on the rebound, deflected, and another corner kick for Milan.
Jackie's going to have to ask AJ De La Garza how that one felt. Not only is he guarding Ronaldinho here in the first half, looks like he took the Seedorf volley off the back as well.
Third corner kick of the match so far for the Galaxy and Ronaldinho. Seedorf comes over on the short corner. And Beckham shadowing. So Ronaldinho goes to the near post, and there's Ricketts. Salesman. He's a nice guy. He's an affable guy. You want to be around him. He is pretty much a regular guy, and he always says, oh, I'm just a football player. You know, he tries to be one of the lads. Of course he's not, but it can't be easy. It's a difficult world that he lives in with one foot. You know, he is an extraordinary personality, and then he just wants to be a soccer player when he gets here.
You know, it really is a double-edged sword, because imagine being under that microscope all the time and having the opportunity to just have people really focus on every little move that you make, including the ones on the soccer field. So when it comes to the scrutiny, he has to deal with more than I think the average person could ever realize. I mean, we see just little small bits of it from time to time when we're out on the road with him, but certainly it's not an easy task if you're David Beckham to deal with not only what's going on the field, but what's going off the field, your personal life. Imagine having those helicopters that we saw during the first part of this game flying over the top of your house, trying to detail what you're doing each and every moment.
He went to dinner with Landon Donovan, you know, and they wanted to talk some things out. And they went to dinner in Beverly Hills, and when they came out, there were 3 dozen paparazzi on the sidewalk. And as Landon said, they weren't there for me. Now, all the nice things we said about Beckham, what Donovan said, there's a lot of credence to it. You know, he gave up the captain's armband to Beckham, and he didn't think that Beckham was living up to the responsibilities of the captain. When the Galaxy were in a free fall last year, he never called that team meeting.
Make no mistake about it, it took a lot for Landon Donovan to come out and make those public criticisms. But I think in that moment in the Galaxy history, somebody probably needed to do it. And if it was going to come from somebody, it had to come from somebody with credibility. A guy like Landon Donovan, who's played in World Cups, has shown he's arguably one of the best U.S. internationals out there. So if it was going to come from anybody, it had to be someone like that. And again, it probably was not an easy thing for him to do. And Donovan, as we know, he's a guy, he's going to tell you what is on his mind.
And in Donovan's defense, it wasn't sniping. You know, he backed up everything he said. And what he told me at training the other day was, it wasn't so much what he said, it was the way he said it. He said he should have gone one-to-one with Beckham and talked to him, you know, like a man, like a teammate. Galaxy on a push forward, and the ball chipped into the area.
I'm not sure if Eskandarian maybe took an elbow from Thiago Silva or if the ball rebounded right back off.
Maybe hitting him right in the face.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the replay of it and see if we can pick it out if the ball comes off of his face or not. Gets headed right back across. Ooh, and it hits him right in the nose right there. That never feels good.
Yeah, that'll water your eyes. You know, I've been hit in the nose a couple of times, had my nose broken.
So by the looks of things, just looking out at the Galaxy lineup as we get one more look at it. Good service into the area there from Eddie Lewis. And in fact, the ball is headed away there by Luca Antonini. But it goes right into the nose of Eskandarian. I think that's one of those ones, kind of like a Charlie horse. You just got to rub it a little bit and it'll go away after a minute or two. Looks like it caught him in the lip, not the nose.
Well, that's a better thing. He's just going to rinse it out. Eskandarian's a tough guy. In the meantime, both keepers have changed. So for AC Milan, we're going to see Marco Storari. And for the Los Angeles Galaxy at the far end, Josh Saunders, who has absolutely been on fire his last 3 starts.
Talk about a nice compliment to Donovan Ricketts. He comes in while Donovan Ricketts is away on the Gold Cup duty with the Jamaican national team, posts 2 shutouts. As in the middle of that 4-game winning streak, 2-1-0 victories, one over New England, the other one over Chivas USA. And I mean, in that derby game against Chivas USA, you know that your stadium counterparts are going to bring everything they can to try and put you under the 8 ball, and including a couple of big saves in the second half by Saunders that kept that shutout intact.
Eskandarian was walked off the pitch. We'll see if he returns. I did not see a sub come on for him. We'll set the lineups. It is a friendly. There's unlimited substitutions. So the rosters are going to change an awful lot here in the second 45 minutes.
Looks to me like LA has made 4 other changes from Saunders. 2 in the back with Tony Sana coming in, as well as I think it's Griffin over there on the far side. And then coming into the midfield, Chris Birchall.
Valentino chips one into the area. Saunders hesitated for just a moment. He was lucky that ball kicks off his shins. And the Galaxy able to clear. Tony Sané, midfield now for the Galaxy.
Keep an eye on this player on the ball right here, Chris Birchall, TNT international. He's going to be a nice compliment to come into the midfield for LA for the rest of the season.
He showed up against New York first time coming off the bench. Shot from outside. Saunders goes flat out, but that ball was 5 feet over the crossbar and maybe a little bit wide.
And we get our first chance to talk about Pippo Inzaghi.
Inzaghi just pushing that ball out in front of him. Oh, a little bender. And it wasn't even that close.
50-plus caps with the Italian national team, including 25 goals for the 35-year-old player for AC Milan.
Brian Jordan now coming on for Eskandarian. And Jordan's always fun to watch. Another kid who hasn't been around that long out of Oregon State, but always adds a lot of excitement when he's on the pitch. And he always keeps that hair tight. Came up with a big goal off the bench at San Jose earlier this year. And all those little points that the Galaxy earned early on are really starting to pay off. They're now tied for 3rd in the Western Conference. Ronaldinho stays on the pitch for AC Milan. Ambrosini tripped up as he tries to go between defenders.
I think actually surprising to me, Jim, is the fact that Leonardo, the AC Milan coach, has actually left a few, a good handful of regular players. You see Ambrosini tripped up over there by Alan Gordon. Sador still on, Ronaldinho still on.
Now keep in mind for Milan, it is a business trip. After this, they'll take part in the World Football Challenge, which also includes Inter Milan, Chelsea, Club America. Takes place the 19th through the 26th. Galaxy now on a counter. Here's Beckham. Beckham getting space, some respect, and maybe a favor from the Milan defense. They're giving him some space to move and operate.
Well, Storari could have easily gotten there to put the gloves to it, but elected to let that one go out.
We talked at halftime about the Day on the Links. Attention all golfers, the LA Galaxy hosts their annual Day on the Links golf tournament. It's at Coyote Hills on Monday, September 14th, and here's your chance to golf with an LA Galaxy player or a coach. For more information, visit lagalaxy.com.
Hey, don't leave us out of the fold. It's your opportunity to golf with Jim Watson and Mark Rogandino, too.
That's a draw, isn't it? That's ugly. And that would be the only draw I'd have concerning my golf game. But that is a lot of fun, and I'll tell you, the people who've shown up for that, they've been amazed, the access. You know, you can walk up and talk to the players, spend some time, talk about the game. That's why they're there, they understand, and it's a full day.
Every single player.
Yeah, they're all there.
Donovan, David Beckham.
Yeah. And I remember last year, you and I were playing in a group, and you, on par 3, you hit a ball about 20 feet from the cup, thinking birdie. By the time you got down there, Beckham and Donovan, I think Sean Franklin, they're all in a golf
Kobe
cart.
Jones.
Kobe Jones. And they were all over you, and you hit that thing about 15 feet past.
Come on.
Oh, it was ugly.
Come on.
It was ugly.
I got the par. I got the par. I remember.
I think you putted it off the dance floor. Here's Beckham now, set piece from the right side. Only Seedorf is there with him. All the other players past the near post, right into the middle, and knocked away. I think the guy who got there was Borriello for AC Milan. You know, I was thinking at halftime, Rogo, that if this game were played at San Siro in Milan, that probably it would be more of an exhibition than a soccer game. But here in the States, I think AC Milan knows a lot of these people came out to see them play, and they have pride and they are representing the colors. And like you said, the Italian media is here and they're going to report back exactly how they play.
And if you're AC Milan, you know, the opportunity to come here is almost, I hate to say it, but you can almost look at it as a no-win situation, because when they come here, aren't they supposed to beat Los Angeles? So the media would say, if you do get the win, of course, we expect that coming from them. But if they don't perform well and the result doesn't go their way, then the harsh criticism is going to be even steeper, even stricter.
You know, this game is being seen live back in Italy as well. It is 5:21 a.m. in Milan right now.
Quick little espresso in the morning, and you get up and watch the game.
There's Leonardo, who is 1-0 as the head coach of AC Milan. They had a local game.
And you know what U.S. soccer fans remember Leonardo most for is that elbow to the head of Tab Ramos.
Ramos, yeah, in the World Cup.
Oh yeah.
Was that back in '94?
Yeah. Yep, exactly. It resulted in a four-game suspension.
Is this the first time he's been stateside since then? A statute of limitations worn off?
Yeah, I guess.
I knew you'd remember it.
He would later apologize to Ramos in person, saying it was an accident, unintentional. But I think that resulted in like a fractured orbital bone or mandel bone for Tab Ramos.
Ronaldinho with space. Plays the ball forward. Zaghi was running onto it, and Saunders came out to close the gap.
Yeah, Zaghi was running on, but so was Saunders. Good anticipation to get into the space, come and cut that ball out at the top of the area.
Seedorf, very dangerous when he has the ball at his feet. Tried to get that one to Ronaldinho in the middle of the pitch. Overcooked it. Back from the Galaxy, Eddie Lewis, you see that diagonal run. He called for the ball. Played up and over his shoulder. And safety first by the Milan back line.
Favali coming over and just touching that one out to safety.
Just underway in the second half, 55th minute. 1-1. Thiago Silva, the goal in the 16th minute for Milan. Alan Gordon, the answer in the 30th minute. He came on as a sub in the 23rd minute. A lot of changes at halftime, as you would expect in a friendly. But it was a spirited first half. Much more contested than I thought it might be.
The Galaxy seemed to come to life when they got the goal through Gordon with about a quarter of an hour left in that opening half of play.
If you missed it, you're going to want to see that highlight. That was a beautiful thing. Omar Gonzalez heading it out of his own end, right to the feet of David Beckham, who played it to midfield, and then hit a diagonal cross to Donovan. One touch to Gordon, who scored. And Ronaldinho, and sometimes players like Ronaldinho get a little frustrated when their teammates do not see what they see. Like a chess player, he's about 3 moves ahead.
But watch on the replay here as the ball comes into Ronaldinho. And look at Burchell chasing all the way back. And once he gets in front of him, he's not going to commit to the challenge. Just stand Ronaldinho up. He's 22, 25 yards out from goal. He's not going to hurt you from that spot.
Ronaldinho has a lot to prove this year. His first year in Milan, not great, not bad. The Italian media characterized it as indifferent. Maybe you lost something there in the translation. I found that word interesting. Italian media very critical of their 2 soccer clubs, Inter and Milan.
Throw Juventus in there as well.
Oh, of course. Chance here for the Galaxy now. Korovsky had it just for a moment. Tee it up. De La Garza, what's he doing down there? The header, soft bounce.
Need a little assistance over there with a nice ball well weighted over the top. De La Garza had the right idea, headed back toward the penalty spot.
Counter attack, Ronaldinho, 4 white shirts, slips the ball through. Inzaghi, that's offside. Offside, the flag went up. Saunders was in position to make the save, but it was one-on-one.
I think he still got the fingertip on it, feather in his cap. People, Inzaghi, a guy who can run at you from all angles. And in fact, the quote that you read about him all the time was Inzaghi was born in the offside position. He's a player that will always stay on the back shoulder of the defender and just wait for that one chance to kind of knife in behind the back 4, back 3.
Third on the team in scoring last year, 13 goals, 2 assists, and of course he was part of that World Cup winning side. Milan now pressing. You see the Galaxy defense retreating just a little bit. Omar Gonzalez to his old college teammate, AJ De La Garza. Korovsky came back to help out. Galaxy turn it over in midfield. Quick throw in by Milan. Luca Antonini into the lineup at halftime. Ambrosini, Ambro playing it forward, the service into the box. Things getting a little dicey now for the Galaxy, the defensive end of the field. Ball dancing around, pressure coming from the attackers of Milan. Best be careful. I think it's important for Galaxy fans. They want to see their team win this game. Borriello is still out there. Antonini. And of course Ronaldinho chops that ball quickly back to the middle of the pitch. Flamini on the switch to the outside. Here he is dancing with the ball. Ronaldinho, 2 defenders, bracketing, steps through them. And he turns around and throws an air punch towards the referee and says, "Where is that whistle?" Does it look like he's playing friendly? Look at that face. Ryan Jordan back to De La Garza. 2 guys with a combined 3 years in Major League Soccer. Not even. Good touch. Ryan Jordan wanted a one-on-one. Play on. Beckham. Gonna switch it. I'll play it right into the middle of the field.
A little hot for Gordon to handle there.
Yeah, Gordon started to retreat. He didn't think that ball was intended for him, and it came right to his chest.
I actually think it was probably mishit a little bit. I think it was intended to go all the way across Freddie Lewis.
And a bit of a duck hook. Odo gonna get a whistle for this one. Petrasco does not want to hear it. He sends Odo away. Here it is.
You can watch this stuff all night, right?
I did. Shows you what I got going on at the house.
In between a couple of players, keeping that ball on a string.
He's just very creative, and this is what happened just moments ago. It was maybe he got him for the handball. He spun around and he punched him with his fist. Massimo Odo, and he did not like it. Beckham, inside, headed away. Milan is very solid defensively. Ronaldinho, scoop it forward, onside. Milan, a chance, goal! Inzaghi, 2-1.
Well, AJ De La Garza has played so well all night, but the breakout there and the perfectly weighted ball from Ronaldinho outside of the right foot, curving it into the space. And Milan fans here at the HDC with another goal to cheer for. And of course, it has to be the veteran Pipo Inzaghi. Virgil did his best to try and get in front, but watch that ball right there. No look pass into the space, well-timed run. And then the unselfish play, top of the area. You don't really know where Inzaghi's gonna go.
Well, and you saw De La Garza had his back to Inzaghi, who cut off his run and then came horizontally across the field, presented a great target, and Inzaghi 1 touch and Saunders no chance. Filippo, Inzaghi. I just mentioned the 13 goals last year, 3rd on the team in scoring. A fan favorite at the San Siro. 2-1 Milan. and they want more.
What was it you were saying in the first half they said about Ronaldinho not being able to carry the weight in there?
How about that spin?
Yeah.
The crowd really appreciating it. The trick's starting to come out of the bag now. Ronaldinho doing a pirouette 360 for no real reason at midfield other than pure entertainment value. Here's the back heel flick just moments ago. Come on. That's pretty good. Yeah, he has a lot of fun to watch, a great personality. So many of the Brazilian players, they have that flair, and it carries over to other sports as well. Beach volleyball, basketball, single names. Life is a party. And there are Brazilian fans everywhere. Sane with the takeaway. Ronaldinho brings it right back. Juggled that ball. The crowd now is just fixated on Ronaldinho.
I'm fixated on it. And you have to think that you know, players like Ronaldinho and even Seedorf, Inzaghi, these guys are infused with the energy of this crowd too. It's the preseason.
Sure. Now, when they play at home at the San Siro, there's what, 75,000 people there, and national television.
I want to say capacity something like 80,000 there. Yeah.
It used to be 150,000, and then they realized the local government in Milan realized they could not secure a building that big, so they pared it down. They put in more aisles and things like that.
Now, this is going to be interesting.
All right, here goes Beckham over in front of the Riot Squad. He tried to make nice with them, and let's listen in.
Subdued compared to the first half, I'd say.
Yeah, not as voracious as it was in the first half. I think he's starting to win them over, and the header, and we're tied! Brian Jordan, and the assist goes to Beckham, who immediately turns around to the Riot Squad and says, "How do you like me now?" 2-2.
What did I say as we came into the second half about the ability to win people back over? The PR magician, and a magician on the free kicks as well. Well-delivered ball. Jordan is brave in there as he puts his head in the middle of a bunch of big players. And the glancing header as he puts it by Storari. 2-2, as you said, partner.
And there's Jordan with the flip. We've seen him do that before, but my eyes went back to Beckham, who immediately turned around, ran back over to the Riot Squad. And he wasn't challenging that. He said, "What about now? Can I get some cheers now?" And they had turned quickly on that one. David Beckham is one of those guys. Kobe Bryant is like this. Manny Ramirez is like that. In this town, they have a sense for the dramatic. They know when to raise their game. He did it right there.
Well-driven ball from the corner spot, puts it in there with a lot of pace on it. Really no chance for Storari to come out and punch that one clear. Had to rely on his defenders, but we've seen it before from Brian Jordan, Jim. His ability to put his head in positions you wouldn't expect a guy of that size and stature to get on the end of.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're talking about Beckham as Milan comes right back. Inzaghi, he wanted the handball. Jordan certainly made the play. Beckham put the ball where he's supposed to put it, but Jordan went in there and won that ball in the redirect. So take nothing away from Jordan. We're just talking about the reaction of the crowd with Beckham over in that corner. Brian Jordan. Mentioned he scored earlier coming off the bench late game heroics at the Alameda Coliseum in Oakland against San Jose, saving points for the Galaxy.
And you know, I have to double check, Jim, but I don't really think Jordan was on the bench for the game against New York this past week. So a young player like Brian Jordan certainly has a little to prove.
There have to be some butterflies for the younger players, the Jordans and De La Garza and Gonzalez.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, all of a sudden they come out and they look across. There's Ronaldinho, there's Beckham, the sellout crowd, big TV audience. Opportunities. De La Garza ahead to Gordon.
You know, we haven't really had a chance to touch on it at all. trickle out here much in the match tonight, but you know, Iguchi Onyewu, center back for the U.S. national team, not here in terms of on the field with the team tonight. He will be joining the team. Just recently signed a 3-year deal to come over here, and the story, you know, he replaces a guy who really Milan hasn't had to think about, Jim, filling the lineup card out for that center back spot for the last 25 years, and Paolo Maldini. He's worn the captain's band, which will now be worn, as we see here tonight, by Ambrosini.
Played forward, taken away by the big cat, Tony Sane. Sane, the oldest guy on the roster for the Galaxy at 37. Milan has some guys in their mid-30s. Inzaghi is 35. Nesta's 33. Favali's 37. There's David Becker. Into the 69th minute now. 2-2. Milan scores, the Galaxy answer. Milan scores, and the Galaxy answer. Galaxy goals, Alan Gordon, Brian Jordan. Ronaldinho flashing those yellow boots. Offside.
That's the other component that he brings to his game is the acceleration with the ball at his feet. You can see those golden shoes, just a little extra pickup as soon as the ball comes into his feet and he turns and goes right at the goal.
Man with the golden boots. That's the third offside now for Milan. Greg Badavinik, a statistician tonight up high here at the Home Depot Center. And just offside. The referee's assistant running right with him. And there's Jordan again. And he's a volatile guy when he's on the pitch. Makes a lot of stuff happen. He's a pest. And he's effective. Milan now playing everything through Ronaldinho in midfield. Karofsky the takeaway. Chris Klein into the game. Chris Klein wearing the blue shoes tonight. He was the point man there at the end of that run. How about those? I haven't seen the blue shoes. Where'd those come from?
Sure. Yeah, I think he's wearing the captain's band now that Donovan is off. Donovan didn't come out for the second half, the second half playoff.
20 minutes plus left to go. Seedorf quickly forward. Put that ball behind Borriello. Back to Seedorf, give and go. And Antonini on the left side. Ambrosini now. Move that ball all the way across the pitch inside. De La Garza right where he's supposed to be.
Dave Sarkin told us for De La Garza, he's one of the better headers of the ball.
Ah, here's a chance. Jordan running on to that in just a moment. There was space. It'll be a Galaxy throw in quickly, Chris Klein. And there's going to be a substitution. Zagoni's going to come on now for AC Milan. And Borriello coming out. Here's Klein, who has a great right foot on services. Into the area, ball loose, Gordon plays it back. Jordan one time, and just over the crossbar.
Starts with a give and go right here. Klein plays it into the inside. It comes back to the outside for Klein. Gordon does well to keep the second effort going. Jordan back in the fray from the left side of your screen. Quickly bringing it down with the chest. Knew that he had the defender coming on to him quickly. Favali was the defender in the closest position.
There was a nice moment right there as Seedorf came off. Clarence Seedorf for Milan. Bruce Arena jumped off his bench, ran to midfield, and shook Seedorf's hand. And remember that when Jackie Pickering talked to Bruce Arena coming out of the locker room, he made mention of Seedorf and thought what a great player he was. It was nice to see. Klein. He played back to De La Garza. And Omar Gonzalez. Kind of a lazy pass back to Josh Saunders. Glancing header by Jordan. He tried to hit Gordon on a run. Beckham is still on the pitch. Klein has joined now. So a lot of Galaxy regulars still out there. Leonard Griffin is on the far side for the Galaxy as they too go into their bench. Both goals scored by subs tonight. Gordon came on in the 23rd minute, scored in the 30th minute. Inside one time and almost got through. Inzaghi running on again. Sane on the retreat, just got to boot up.
Milan not letting off themselves. Inzaghi, I tell you what, since he's come in the game, he's started to bring that flash, that flair, adding a little extra something to the attack for AC Milan.
He's fresh. He normally would be in the starting lineup. He saved something for the second half. Chipped in, headed away by Karofsky. You have Inzaghi at one end for Milan, Brian Jordan for the Galaxy at the other. Two most dangerous guys on the pitch, with the exception of Ronaldinho. You can see the Milan players, they just defer to Ronaldinho, chipping it in. Always a well-weighted ball. Inzaghi against Sane, shadowing him everywhere. Klein. Chris Klein, who has played in 132 straight MLS games. This one, of course, doesn't count, but that is a league record, and he adds to it every time he leaves the locker room. Little give and go now, well played. Beckham and Jordan. David Beckham trying to set up the service, cuts it back inside to Brian Jordan.
How about that sequence between Jordan and Beckham? Back and forth,
Beautiful.
back and forth.
And you know, David Beckham does have an affinity for the younger players. Remember, when he first got here, he and Ty Harden all of a sudden hung around one another.
Right.
Ty Harden was a rookie and a defender.
Back to Beckham, and then he has the vision. You think he's going to swing it in with one of those classic services. Goes the shorter route, looking for Brian Jordan on that glancing run through the near post.
And Beckham is coming out.
.75 minutes. And a great performance, great performance.
And the Milan players all applauding Beckham as well. And Leonardo gives him a squeeze. Says what, we'll see you soon? And Beckham, when I asked him, he said, I will try to do the same thing. He said, I'm an honest guy. I would like to go back and play for Milan. I would like to repeat what happened. I don't know that the Galaxy would be willing to do that. They lose him for more than half the season.
Well, he does have the out at the end of this year, the clause in the contract, but he has also gone on record, especially specifically in the LA Times recently, saying he's committed to play out the entire 5 years with the Galaxy. That doesn't mean that he won't want to go to Milan and do exactly as you just mentioned, go back there and play another 5-6 month loan spell.
So that if the contract were not fulfilled to its 5-year conclusion, Beckham could say, it wasn't my decision. A little wiggle room there. We would like to keep him around, but you can understand the stance of players like Landon Donovan who say, look, if you're going to be a captain, if you're going to be a member of this team, we would like you to be here. And certainly he comes back in New York. He's an impact player. He was a lightning rod here tonight. But Beckham, as he so often does, can turn an entire stadium around just with his play on the pitch.
Well, they start pinging.
Pressure offense now. Galaxy attacking zone. One-time header. Eddie Lewis just missed. Shot. Alan Gordon didn't get all of it. Got a big piece.
Looking for his second of the night. It's a couple of times here in the second half, Jim, we've seen the ball fall to Alan Gordon inside the area. Only problem is each time it's come, it's been with his back to the goal.
That's Sterari now between the pipes for AC Milan. Kalic played the first half. Not going to see Gita. '77th minute. And it has been a very well-played game, both sides. Play it back and play it forward. The run was cut off. A forced turnover. Galaxy back in action Saturday night at Kansas City If you were late joining us in the first half, Edson Buttle left with an injury. Jackie Pickering told us a hyperextended big right toe. And the Galaxy will not get on an airplane until Friday. Buttle, of course, uses that right foot an awful lot.
That is it for the Milan captain as Ambrosini comes out. And he will make way for Rodney Strasser. How about that for access? Looks like they got some Italian radio or Italian TV down there. The players go right there.
Been off the pitch about 8 seconds. He's already doing an interview. Come on, Jackie, where are you? Go get Beckham. We can do it too. Substitutions continuing. We'll set them as we go.
Kazi coming in here to replace Odo.
Now, right now, Chris Klein looks like a dangerous guy out here on the right side. He has the ball at his feet. New guy, Burchell. To Jordan. Good ball movement by the Galaxy. Chipped up all the way through the area, far side. Counterattack by Milan. And Sane once again.
Latte showing some good pace coming out of the back there.
Now it's just a series of counterattacks back and forth.
I was just going to say, because this is preseason form for AC Milan, you can see that the game really starting to open up as we get into the last 10 minutes or so.
AC Milan has played one preseason game, Varese. They won 2-0, the local side. And after they're done here with the Galaxy in this friendly, they will enter the World Football Challenge. Inter Milan, Chelsea, Club America. A little over 10 minutes now left to play. The only thing left now to decide the results. Chris Klein. Back to De La Garza midfield. He advances the ball. That was one of the things we were talking about earlier. Sometimes he gets rid of the ball a little quickly. Here he is again. De La Garza, near post, up on top of the cage. It is fun to watch these younger players develop. We saw Brian Jordan do it. We've seen Omar Gonzalez do it, and now AJ De La Garza gaining in confidence with each touch.
And good interchange there, and exactly as you said, he was a little more patient on the ball, looking for the opportunity to slip one across. Results in a Galaxy corner.
And with Beckham out of the game, it means it'll be Mike McGee. And an injury. One of the Milan players.
That's what could happen, you know, in the preseason form, is especially with the heat, how it has been around Southern California of late. You can imagine there's probably a little dehydration setting in at this point. Thiago Silva.
Yeah, who scored the goal in the 16th minute, the first goal of the match. I think you're right. I think it is just a cramp. Right, Cav? They're gonna rub that out. It was hot today in Los Angeles. Over 90 degrees here in Carson. Conde now coming on for Milan for the substitution for Silva.
Your game board's getting all sorts of scribbles and stuff on it.
It's a mess. McGee, low and hard to the near post, deflected and out. It'll be a goal kick. Let's go down to Jackie Pickering.
Thank you so much, guys. Well, I am very pleased to be joined by Clarence Seedorf of AC Milan. Clarence, you played against some of the best teams in the world, and tonight you're playing against the Galaxy in the MLS. What did you think of tonight's match?
Well, as I thought before, it would be a hard game. You know, they're already in the middle of the season, so and you see it. We have to run a lot with them. It was tough for us because we had a long trip yesterday, but I think at the end the game is okay.
Now, David Beckham has been with the team for the past few months, and now you're actually playing against him. What was that experience like?
Yeah, well, all times. Now, you know, it's a pity that the fans are treating him this way. I mean, he's a great player, great professional. I was very pleased to see him again. I think everybody enjoyed. He played a good game also, and well, we have four goals. So.
Now, more and more European players are coming over to the States and playing with the MLS. Is there a chance that perhaps we could see you playing in Major League Soccer one day?
Well, there's always a chance. I never say never. But for now, I'm focusing still on my game with Milan. I still have a couple of years of contract, and this year we have a tough year ahead, and we want to you know, win the Scudetto and the Champions League. So let's say that my focus is on that for the moment.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and good luck this upcoming season with Milan. All right, we'll send it back up to you, Mark and Wadi.
Good get there, Jackie. Nice work, Clarence Seedorf. And I like the question about coming and playing in MLS. He's 33, so he'd be 36 when his contract runs out. Probably still some life in those legs at 36.
You recognize that accent from anyone that we've heard before from the last couple of seasons? Ruud Gullit, the Dutch accent?
Yeah, Ruud Gullit, yeah. Ex-Galaxy coach, former World Player of the Year. That was nice of him to come over and do that.
Good job by Jackie down there.
That's a big get. More substitutions. Meanwhile, for the Galaxy, Kyle Patterson has come on, wearing number 30. It's a chance for us to see some guys that we don't normally see. Remember, during MLS regular season, only 3 substitutions allowed. Tonight, unlimited. Omar Gonzalez. His solid self, as always. Save it. Ah, good get by McGee there. Can't control. 84th minute, 2-2. A goal in each half for each side. Ronaldinho, you gonna play all 90?
Looks like it.
That's great. That's why people came out here. They wanted to see some good soccer. They wanted to see Beckham, and they wanted to see AC Milan and Ronaldinho. Here he is with the ball. You know, those are his most dangerous moments, when he's just outside the area and he does that little stutter step and then just scoops the ball with his toe.
Well, yeah, exactly, because it's unpredictable. It puts the defender off balance. You don't know exactly what he's going to do. We haven't seen him rip or pull the trigger on a shot from that distance yet so far here tonight.
Ronnie Strasser midfield.
You know, one thing following the Galaxy during this recent 4-game run, and even into tonight's game, is if we take a look at that foul from Chris Birchall there against Ronaldinho, is this team really has solidified the 18, 19 players that are going to be on the list going forward. And you have a guy like Birchall coming in, David Beckham returning to the fold, a strong performance off the Confederations Cup for Landon Donovan. So now your players that are coming off the bench are fighting for spots with players like Jordan, Karofsky, Chris Klein, Mike McGee. I mean, all those players at one point in the last year or two were starters on this team.
Competition is a healthy thing. Absolutely. Within a club. Chris Klein has space. Let's check the service. Deflected. Dangerous ball. Taken out of the air. No drama. Sturari. And goal in the second half here for AC Milan. Milan last year in Serie A, tied for second, 22-8-8. The Galaxy right now in league 6-3-9. The Galaxy have won 4 in a row. They're tied for third in the Western Conference, and right now the Galaxy, a playoff team. Missed the playoffs the last couple of years, after making it every year in their existence prior to that. One of the big goals for the Galaxy this year: improve the defense, make the playoffs, score a few more goals, and they're certainly a more entertaining club than they have been. They're a lot of fun to watch now, and a dangerous bunch. Here's Patterson. A stutter step, Patterson. Oh, goes far post and almost scored. Well played. And that's a guy who doesn't collect a lot of minutes.
Another guy that brings some flavor from across the pond over in the Premiership and the Championship.
Watch the stutter step right there to free himself up. Back to live action, another shot, point blank. Look at the Galaxy now, competing for every loose ball. Bruce Arena is standing up with the Galaxy bench, and he is calling out each pass. I think he wants the win. Here's Klein, he has space if he turns around. Was outside De La Garza, and it came in hot.
Yeah, a little too hot to handle there. It's just about a half foot out of his reach for De La Garza.
I'm getting the sense the Galaxy here want to try to win this one, try to tuck one in late. Patterson all the way against the touchline on the far side. Weaving through guys. Quick touch to McGee. McGee has a flair for late minute heroics as well. Remember the game at Real? They scored from a ridiculous angle with just seconds left in extra time. Here's Patterson from before.
There's a chance. Great stave there from Storari.
That would have been a goal. Storari going flat out to get the paddle on it, parry it away. McGee, corner kick.
And this last sequence leading to this corner was a good, nice build-up there from LA as well.
McGee bending one right inside. He wanted Omar Gonzalez, the biggest target on the pitch for the Galaxy. Omar Gonzalez, 6'5", 215 pounds. And fearless. Omar Gonzalez did score a goal against Colorado here on a corner from David Beckham. His only career goal. Good one to get. '89th minute now, tied at 2. Well, are you the next Miss LA Galaxy? The Galaxy currently looking for the next Miss LA Galaxy, presented by CoverGirl and her court for the 2010 season. If you're a stellar young woman living in Southern California who's involved in your community and sports soccer in the Galaxy, please email mlag@lagalaxy.com for more information and an application. That's mlag@lagalaxy.com. Ronaldinho with Burchell behind him. There's that scoop we've been talking about. He loves to do that. He draws so much attention that the defense tends to tighten around him, and he just scoops it up, throws it over their heads, and lets a teammate run on.
You can see Inzaghi applauding that little chip over the top. He likes that. He's giving him an opportunity to try and spring in behind the defender.
Both teams going to play this one to the final whistle. Some of that juggling. Ronaldinho, he's famous for that misdirection. They're going to be still talking it up. He's working the referee, arranging his pieces in front of him.
Well, that's going to go against LA. I thought Burchell was the one who actually suffered the foul in the early part of that sequence.
Come on, who do you think is going to get that whistle?
Good point.
Two-time Pro Player of the Year. Ronaldinho. For a moment, he was playing with two balls. One had rolled onto the pitch. Just heeled that one to the bench. We're told 3 minutes of stoppage. So a bit more soccer, a few more chances. De La Garza with Klein in front of him.
I think what's even better about this matchup here tonight, Jim, is the fact that what confidence these players are going to have, specifically some of the younger players, when they do go to Kansas City next week. Omar Gonzalez continues his stellar rookie career. I mean, look at the confidence right there, cutting back against Inzaghi in the top of his own defensive third.
A month ago, he played that ball back to the keeper without thinking about it. De La Garza, half volley in midfield. Now they're going to bump it up to 4 minutes of stoppage. Sure, we're having that much fun. Play an extra minute.
One note about that matchup coming up against the Wizards, they're going to be without two really big pieces. Davy Arno, who is away with the team on Gold Cup duty. They go Thursday against Honduras in the semis. Jimmy Conrad, the other piece that will also be out. He's on Gold Cup duty, but suffered a concussion in the last match.
Question mark for the Galaxy, of course, would be Edson Buttle. Injured his toe in the first half. Hyperextended the big right toe.
I think you feel pretty good, though. I mean, even if Edson can't go because he needs to sit out a match or two, you've got Alan Gordon coming back in the fold.
Ronaldinho kept possession and kept the ball in play. De La Garza got pushed. The whistle came late. And now De La Garza folds up again. He went down, popped back to his feet, and folded up and collapsed once again.
He's going to deserve a good bath in the ice bucket after this one. He's played really hard over there on the right side of defense tonight for Los Angeles.
Well, it's fun when we're on the road and we have breakfast with Bruce Arena to listen to him talk about the younger players. You know, he goes out of his way to mention those kids. De La Garza is a guy who gets mentioned quite a bit. Omar Gonzalez, Josh Tudela. He likes to encourage those guys, and he gives them opportunities. Chance to improve, that's all anybody wants.
Tudela, of course, no longer with the Galaxy. See what team he picks up with here in the coming weeks. I'm sure there's a place for Josh Tudela on a roster somewhere here in Major League Soccer.
Slipped it through, Sane. Able to deflect it away, but that should be a corner for Milan.
corner number 5 here for AC Milan, and it comes as we're into stoppage time. Halfway through the allotted 4 minutes here. And it's going to be Nkande to come over to whip it in here. Driven across to the far side. Tracking there is Zigoni. And look at Patterson come in to steal that one and start the counter back the other way here for LA.
Klein once again is open on the right side, and they'll keep it on the left. Minute and a half now in stoppage.
Klein wide open on the right side. Acres of space over there.
No one is marking him. Antonini is the closest player. He's a good 20 yards away. Galaxy have one more run in him here. Nobody's left. By the way, when this one is finished, we will have an interview with David Beckham. So don't run off just yet.
Yes, don't run off just yet.
Here's a set piece now for the Galaxy just outside the area. And Brian Jordan is going to look for some space inside.
Is there one final treat in store for the fans here at the Home Depot Center?
Well, McGee's going to take it. Storari now ranging his pieces in front of him. Galaxy clumping together right at the edge of the area. Gonzalez is in there. Sane joins the attack. Karofsky, Jordan, Klein, they're all there.
So is Matthew Flamini.
Yeah, the service was a bit short and a little flat. Maybe 30 or 40 seconds left. Burchell. Galaxy